Welcome to the Redvee TV Show, supported by Chapel House for the 2023 season. And this week, we look ahead to Kev going to France and eating some snails.
Not happening. No, I'll have a baguette, jambon fromage, but I'm not having any snails. Not happening.
You're missing out?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Well, on the last Redvee TV Show, Kev, we looked ahead to the Warrington game, and it was more in hope rather than expectation. And the team do what they normally do and make a mockery of us.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, good performance. Very good performance.
Did the international break come at a good time for us? You have to say it probably did, considering 7 of our 8 players were injured last week and wouldn't have been able to play.
Yeah, listen, the proof will be in the results and the performance on Friday against Catalan, but I think it did. When you've got, especially like your front rowers of Matty Lees and Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook having to do big minutes, Louis probably doing more minutes than expected. You need bodies back. You need bodies to be able to share that workload. And I think against Warrington, we did that. It was a great performance. We kind of, in the past couple of weeks, have gone away from what seemed to be one-out rugby, especially against Wigan. I think we got caught up in the occasion. But as you say, with so many missing for England and only Jack Welsby fit enough to take to the field for his national team, I think it probably has come at the right time, and I'm prepared to eat my words if we do get roundly beaten in France on Friday.
Now, it's taken 6 or 7 weeks, but Mr. Wellens has discovered maybe a formula to stick by and a way of playing that is going to work moving forward.
Yeah, it seems that way. It seems to be going back to, as a lot of old fans will say, playing the Saints way, trying to get it out to your centres and your wingers, your strike players, instead of just trying to get up the middle and obviously make something happen with 5 drives and a kick. We seem to be moving the ball a little bit better, backing ourselves as well. And you see that in the likes of, I know it's been replayed loads and loads, but John Bennison, his try where he throws the dummy. I think Dufty, listen, I said he got sent for a hot dog. He didn't look like he was interested in tackling him, which should be your number one aim from your fullback. Take the man with the ball, don't take the dummy. But he backed himself there. He thought, here's a chance for me to kind of show the fullback and go round on the outside. And just seeing little bits like that in play, T. Ritson also doing the same on the other wing, have just been that little bit explosive. It seems like we're finding more of Saints that we're used to than Saints we'd seen in the first couple of weeks.
13 days on, Kev. Matt Duffy sent for a hot dog. Rumour has it he's just made it to the front of the queue in the South Stand.
Well, has he missed out on the deal? He won't get a members deal though, will he?
No. Few players back for us this week. Is that going to be a big boost for the squad?
Yeah, I think so. We're still missing quite a few. Obviously, Iggy Parzy's missing. Sione Matautia. And it's got to be said that it's good to see Saints going through the specialist there and being guided by what the specialist is saying rather than rushing Sione back. It's obviously right for the player and for the club doing it that way and making sure that we always talk about this when we're on about getting players into the club and people saying we should get rid of X, we should get rid of Y, we should just get rid of them because they're not playing. We look after our players. And you almost see that this happening. There's been no call for Sione to be let go because he's had 2 head knocks in 2 separate games. It's more of a, actually, this lad needs to sit down for a little bit longer. And I'd hope that patience is seen with the likes of Mark Percival, who's the other big name missing out. I believe he's had a little clean out of his knee, as well as having this hamstring problem. That there's still that. And if players do get injuries, then listen, it's part and parcel of the game, isn't it? I've decided to put the squad up while I'm in charge of that. this week.
What the screen is froze then.
3 changes in that squad. Obviously, the aforementioned Mark Percival, Redvee.net sponsored Dan Hill and Mackenzie Buckley all drop out of the squad, with big names Alex Walmsley, Curtis Sirenen and Jake Wingfield back in.
You would assume all 3 of those you've just mentioned will come straight back into the 17. It might be easy to potentially pick the 3 who miss out. Wes Bruins, who was swatted away from the field as he wanted to come on in the last minute by John Bennison because we were on the attack, and I believe cost him a debut bonus.
Yes, I believe so.
So I hope Mr. Bennison has recompensed him appropriately. You'd imagine Lewis Baxter and potentially Sam Royal miss out, but it's the 18th man that last spot to miss out. And with Tom Makinson hopefully back at full fitness, would you assume it's going to be one of the wingers who make way?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's a tough call. I was trying to go through who I think would miss out, and I've probably got the same as you've said there, but it depends because it's the weather over in Perpignan is quite warm. It's whether we went for another forward and went for the likes of Sam Royal, who can cover the centres if need be, as the 18th man in case we got them head knocks, or whether it is one of the unfortunate John Bennison or T. Ritson. It's tough because, as I say, John Bennison does something as amazing as his dummy to send Matt Duffy the wrong way and go in for a try. But T. Ritson's shown that you cannot trade into a player that just raw speed and that elusiveness. He's got it. So it's a big call. I probably would expect John Bennison to keep his shirt, but I wouldn't necessarily be against seeing T. Ritson again.
Yeah, and equally, if Tommy isn't 100%, I'd happily see T and John Bennison on the wings again. Yeah. But that said, given history over the last few years and how we've seen squads and teams picked, you would assume that Tommy's got so much credit in the bank that if he's fully fit, he comes straight back into the side.
Yeah, he has. And that's it. Players are giving themselves the chance, though, because you look, Wes Bruins scored a hat-trick for the reserves against Castleford on Saturday. I was there and watched it. So he got himself over, so he's showing his attacking prowess there. We mentioned the 2 wingers, John Bennison and T. Ritson, and what they bring to the game. One is a proper steady Eddie. You're going to get hard work from him. You're going to get safety from him. You're probably not going to get the burning pace, but someone who has played in Super League that little bit longer. With T. Ritson, you're going to get that raw pace, that elusiveness, that making Catalans second guess what is going to happen. I'd fully expect us to go with a big bench. I wouldn't expect us to go with a back on the bench this week.
Now, Catalan, Kev, you've obviously had a really good start to the season, but has it come off the rails a little bit in the last few weeks, having lost 4 of the last 5? 3 on the bounce now? Yeah,
and it's possible that this break's come at the right time for them as well to disrupt that losing streak. I know that there are quite a few sitting out from the same international that we did, so it's good to see that they've got as full a team as they can have out. I know they are missing a couple. You can see that just from the squad numbers there. So it could be that, listen, we've gone in, we're coming into it with loads of confidence, and they've just been able to take themselves out of the limelight a little bit of losing all these games and can come back into it and go, right, clean slate, we've had our break, let's get back to it, big game, let's ramp it up in front of what should be pretty much a full house in Perpignan. So it's still a tough one, even if Catalan were bottom of the league at this point. Going over there is so tough. But it's good to see that quite a few of our fans have already made the trip.
Yeah, good to see on social media, plenty of banners on display, fans getting over. I know obviously there's a lot of Saints fans who are going to be staying in Loretta Mar. They're having a meet-up tomorrow evening, for about Thursday, if you watch this on Thursday, and if it's Friday, you've missed it. 6:30 at, I think it's the Queen Vic.
Yeah.
I think it's the Saints, one of the Saints 1873 group, I want to say, is hosting that. If you're in Loretta Mar, get down there. There'll be a big party on Thursday night. Hopefully your head's not too sore that you're under missing the game on Friday. And plenty going directly to Perpignan, some staying in Cannes. Should be a huge Saints following over there.
Yeah, it should be. I think there's about 1,000 Saints fans going over there, which again is tremendous. It sounds like going to get the weather for it as well. Listen, it's always a good trip over to Catalan. It's always welcomed over there. I think as time's gone on, it's just become one of those that people look forward to in the year, and I think that makes it a bigger game because they've been there or thereabouts as well, and been a real success story in Super League. They were given the exemption from relegation early on in the Super League career, but it's just great to see that we've got another big game, another one that people look forward to. And it's great that it's on a Friday night rather than a Saturday as well. Makes a change.
Yeah, Keithley's owners wouldn't agree with you. What if Catalan ever done their Super League what the Cougars couldn't?
Yeah, exactly. That's very true.
Apart from winning a Challenge Cup.
Yeah, getting to grand final.
Getting to grand finals, there we are.
Yeah.
Right, Kev, predictions?
I think Saints will win by 10. I'm going to go with. I think it'll be tight. I think Catalan, they've got Mitchell Pearce back and Julien Bousquet back as well. Be interesting to see how Matt Ikuvalu goes. I think it's his first time in the squad. Mickey McAloram's a big miss for him, but I just think that we'll take that week off and getting bodies back better than they will.
Yeah, it's a big game in our season as well, isn't it? Obviously, we currently sit 2 points behind Catalan on the ladder. Obviously, we've still got a game in hand. So if we win on Friday night, all of a sudden the season's starting to look a little bit rosier again, isn't it?
It is, and that's it. By the end of May,
especially with Warrington likely to drop points at home to Wakefield too.
Well, have they lost the last 4 or something like that against Wakefield? Something ridiculous that they've lost quite a few.
That is a stat in its own, Kev.
If it's true, I'm sure I've read it on Twitter. Listen, by the end of May, this season could, and I'll use that, could look so much better, couldn't it? It's easy to say.
They've lost the last 2 against them. They lost last season 16-12 at home and 38-22.
All right. Well, I was halfway there, was I? Something like that. 50% right. But yeah, sorry. By the end of this month, this season could look so much better, couldn't it? There's a cup game in it. If we get through that, which I know we're expected to, we get a couple of wins on the board, all of a sudden that worry about the season kind of dissipates a bit. And I know we're not in the same position as we found ourselves in the past couple of years, but it'll start looking a bit rosier. And now's the time really to settle ourselves down. We've got over that little bump early on. Even if we came away after getting beaten at Catalan, we shouldn't be throwing toys out the pram. We've still got time to get the necessary wins on the board and turn our season round. And listen, anyone betting against us being there or thereabouts at the end of the season, I think is a very, very brave person.
Some would say stupid.
Yeah, some would. I'll just say brave. You can say stupid.
I'm not suggesting anything at all, Kevin. Right, Kevin, enjoy the trip to Catalan. Provide us with the necessary instant reaction. And hopefully return with the 2 points. Personally, it's on you.
Personally, all right, okay. Oh dear, no pressure then.
Fingers crossed, Mr. Roby gets through unscathed, and will be then free to make his record-breaking appearance next week at Salford. Well, at Saints against Salford.
For a second then, I thought you meant Mark, and I was going to say that's not going to happen.
No. Hopefully a big one next week. A massive celebration, hopefully, if James can come through unscathed at the weekend. And we'll just put on the horizon that Chapel House will be doing a promotion outside of the ground before the game. And we will be there, Kevin.
Yes, we will indeed.
So yeah, come and have a chat with us. We'll talk more next week about what the potential prizes are on offer and what you can win. Right, Kev? Enjoy, and we will catch up very, very soon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see everybody else soon as well.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.